Alright guys, another one. The windshield I chose came in, so we're going to put that on real quick. I went with the Memphis Shades Road Warrior fairing with an 11-inch vented windshield. So I'll show you that as we go on. One thing with the Street Bobs, in order for this headlight to be flush with the end of the fairing, Memphis Shades offers an extension block. So we'll put that on, and all you need to do there, and I've already loosened this, this is a 1/4 inch hex here at the bottom. So you pull that out, and that'll give you access to the nut and bolt that holds the bracket here, and that is a pair of 9/16. And this is on pretty tight, at least mine was, so just be careful you don't scratch up your paint like I like to do. Show you what you end up with. Got your nut and washer on that end. That's what I didn't want to do. And you've got your bolt and washer on this end. So just put it together because I like to lose things. And there's the old block. So let's get the new block out of the package and I'll show you how to put it on. Okay, just for reference, here's the old block. And here's the new block. You really can't get this wrong. One side is smooth with the holes through. The other side has these little notches here that help you line up the headlight. There's a little pin right here sticking out of the bottom triple tree. So I'm going to put that there like that. But before I do that, what I want to do is install the extension block with the headlight. Wish I could get you guys a better shot at this. We're going to be using the same bolt and washer. The only thing you got to do, you have a pair of spacers that goes inside to make up for the gap. So you can see the width of this is much smaller than the width of the headlight piece itself. So wish he just wants to go that way. Okay. So this is probably the hardest part of it, especially when you only have one set of hands here, but we'll figure it out. There we go. And then the washer and lock nut go on the end. And I'm just going to get that started. I'm not even going to bother trying to adjust it until I get the headlight block itself mounted to the triple tree. Alright, so that's good for now. You don't need this guy anymore. I've got the bolt. Just going to line that pin up. Okay, so the pin is lined up, and now I just got to line up that hole. Okay. See if I can straighten this out a little bit here. Might take some tension off that headlight wire. There we go. Okay. Okay, that guy's in there. We can adjust these two bolts now. I'll just probably make them a little tighter for now. And then we can move on to the windshield and the brackets. Okay, so we're ready to attach the clamps to the forks. What you get in the mounting kit, you get 4 of these, which mount around the fork. And you actually get this little Allen key T-handle, which I think is cool. So that'll fit all the hardware, mounting hardware. One thing to note, if you see this little tab here, this should be pointing out in the direction of the headlight. So I think I'm gonna go with the third one, maybe. Let's see. Kind of hard to see. It's like a puzzle. There we go. So it slides right in. I don't know if you guys can see that, but it slides right in the teeth. And you're just gonna want to bend it. Yeah, we'll do it this way. This, and see if I can line it up that way, because it is tight. It's not. All right, I guess that's what you got to do. Kind of scary, but okay. Put the little bolt in here. Use that cool little T-handle they gave you just to get it started. It says on the instructions these things should be about 2 inches apart. So we'll get that rough estimate, but for now, that's all there is to that. Okay, so we got all 4 of the brackets on. Let's go over to the rest of the pieces with the windshield, and I'll show you what you do there. Okay, so here we have the actual shade itself. These are the locking mechanisms. Basically, you take these two, I don't know, I guess they're grommets. You loosen these bolts and you pass it through here. So the lock is actually facing like this to latch on top of the things that we mounted to the forks. So I'll take these guys off and then we'll mount it to the thing. In case you're wondering, I'm using a 7/16. Just need to crack it. They're not on that tight. Make sure you don't use the lock washer or the other washer that's with it. So this one, I have to go on this side here. So I'm just gonna pass this guy actually. Okay, so this is like my other T-Sport fairing. It's got this little rubber grommet in here, and you gotta pass half of it through the hole. So there's a few ways you can do it. You can try to force it in, or you just take the pin out. And that's probably not a good angle for you guys to see what I'm doing, but you basically just pull in this little rubber thing so you've got a piece on each side. So if you can see that, I know it's black on black. Half of it is here, the other half of the rubber is here. So I'm just gonna do that real quick for the other ones. You take this piece and you pass it through. And then what happens is you line up the flat side with the bracket. I'll show you what I mean in a second. Just want to get that started. So these things have flat sides here, and then it's rounded here. You want the flat side to line up with the bracket itself, because this is not an oval. It does have flat sides on the top and bottom. That's what you're going to line that up with. I'm not going to tighten those either, because there is a little play there. Maybe I'll just start in the middle. Just want to get the fitment right and not have to do this 10 times. Okay, so there you have it. This is the part that latches on the top. Let's go try the fitment before we tighten these bolts up, and then we can move to the next part. Okay, so after a little bit of finagling and a whole bunch of cursing, See if I can get you a good view of that. I was able to line it up, had to tighten them a little bit so they wouldn't move, and then make sure that these things are sitting properly and locked in place. So I believe I have that in place. I'm gonna move on to the windshield now. Like I said, I got the 11-inch vented dark smoke. So this is gonna go like this. You get these little plastic screws. Basically, this guy just goes in like that, and then on the back, you just tighten it by hand. And there you go. So you get a bunch of those. Just grab a couple. I can tell you that the construction of this particular fairing is a lot better than the ones that I got on Amazon. Fit finish is a lot better. Not that there was anything bad about the one that I've gotten, but I can tell the difference. Also, when you're using these screws on the back end, there is a rubber side, and then this side here, I don't know if you can see it, it's got like a little grippy. That's the side you want on the outside. You want the rubber side in. And there's always one more that I don't have the screw for. Oh, it's still in the bag. Okay. It looks great already. I love the way it looks. All right. Take a step back here. Show you what it looks like. Looks good. Don't mind the swinging bag. I am going to adjust that headlight now that I know where it needs to go. Looks like it's a little high, so I'll adjust that and then we'll take it out for a spin.
All right, so I figure I'll take this conversation on the highway. Let's see if the windshield itself improves the audio experience as well, as I imagine it would, as there's not as much wind, heavy winds hitting my face mask, interrupting with the audio. So hopefully that's a good thing. Back in the crotch cam, a little help of a couple of attachments. Hopefully the vision is pretty good for you. I apologize if it's a little wobbly. So yeah, again, this is I don't know, my third time on the highway. I did take it out for a little bit last night, and on the way to work this morning. Um, Last night felt great, no buffeting, no wind coming from below the windshield, and the wind that was coming from above was right at eye level but soft, and it wasn't interfering at all. It's definitely a pretty windy day today. But it feels good. So as far as those adjustments, just to reiterate, two things that I adjusted. One was the height of the windshield in the brackets that connect to the quick connect. I loosened it, raised the windshield higher, and tightened them back up. And then I used the second set of holes on the fork clamps that are further away from the bike, just to see if there's any difference. I know people say that if you have the windshield or the fairing itself more upright as opposed to laid back by default, some people do get better results. So right now I don't necessarily feel a difference from last night, but man, this windshield works great. Very glad that I chose to do this first, because I was considering doing the risers and the handlebars first, but I think this has a greater overall impact on the ride quality. I mean, she's on rails right now, and it feels great. No more flying squirrel. The traffic is going to get heavy here now that I'm back on the highway, so I think maybe we'll just wrap it up here. If you haven't already, do me a huge solid, give me a like and subscribe. Trying to get as much content out to you guys as possible on both bikes and, you know, the events in general. And other than that, man, thank you guys for your time. Thank you for stopping by, and thank you for your support.